Hello, everyone, and welcome to the sequel, to the next episode, to the next series of this, small series of my latest chess tournament in Bucharest. The tournament was entitled Bitcoin Romania Chess Open Edition 7, and I played there. And I've already shot a video for the first game, so check that out if you haven't done it already. I'll quickly present myself if you guys are if you are new and I'll more quickly do the pitch and more quickly present myself again. I guess I have to do this in every video. So my name is Mihai Venețanu. If you don't know me, if you're new to the channel, it's Mihai Venețanu. I'm from Romania. I'm a chess player. I'm a chess coach. My rating over the board is 2100. So first category, and I would say I play at the masters level, so I definitely have some things to improve, some more potential, some more elo to gain, because I've studied the books and I'm a great player, I would say. But it's for you guys to decide. That's why I'm shooting these videos. You guys are the judges, I guess. So yeah, what else? I'm 23 years old, so thanks for joining in. Thanks for tuning in. So let's check out the next games. I'll make the image smaller right now and I'll share my screen. So where did we left off? Uh, so where did we leave off in grammar? So this is the first round. You can see that I've won. These are the standings after the first round. Not much changed. I'm playing in round two. Where sixth board again. I didn't change board against a little bit stronger opponent. His name is Fulgerionuts. 1800. I approximated it to 1850, and I have this game opened up right here on ChessBase. I have the game saved up, and I played with white. You can already see that the moves have been on the board. So a little bit of a spoiler, I played e4 and he responded with a Caro-Kann. So let's get right into it. I'll make this video shorter because I want to cover the other games as well, all the other rounds. Less analysis. e5, the advanced Caro-Kann. Bishop to f5. And now, as I've learned from Wesley So on his course 92, and I really like this move, positional move, aimed against his advance of pawn to c5 against black's pawn to c5 immediately. E6, knight b3 will be a like normal line continuation. In the many lines, he still gets c5, but white gets a lot of counterplay because, for example, let's say for example, let's say for example, he goes here, let's say knight d7 and knight f3, and now he goes c5. Now I would take, and what's the compensation in what form? For example, here if he takes back with the knight, I can put a knight on d4, for example. That's the point. That's the point. He gets the breakthrough, but now I get the d square. So there's a whole course on that. Wesley So has done it, a lot of research, a lot of analysis, and a lot of study. But my part is here to show you the games. So queen b6, knight b3, right? Queen b6, what does he want to do? Again, achieve c5 and maybe try to hinder me, put some pressure on b2. So knight b3, following the plan, following in suit, putting the knight over here on b3, h6, making some room here, maybe taking away the b5 square. Knight to f3, I just developed naturally. Now I thought about this continuation of bishop to d2, bishop to a5 is an interesting resource, but I've done it in the game in better conditions. I didn't want to lose time because if I play bishop d2, he can play something. He will go with the queen on a7. It's nothing like can go for something like knight d7 if and he will tuck his queen away on a7. But in the game, it worked beautifully. So knight f3. I just prefer this move because I wanna quickly develop my pieces on the right. I wanna castle as soon as possible. He plays e6 and bishop to e2. I don't wanna put the bishops to exchange them. I wanna hit his bishop. Because he took some liberties into bringing it upwards. So that's the point. The point. Those are the ideas of the advanced Caro-Kann. So he moves it back preemptively. So a little bit of a prophylaxis. Also freeing up f5 for the knight. Knight e7, knight f5 is the common idea, the common plan. Castle. So I just develop naturally, moving every single piece once, which I teach you guys, right? Step number two, and like moving every single piece once, right? And step number three is castle. So knight e7, Bishop to d2. Again, I told you about this resource, and again, I'm moving every single piece once, and he didn't really see it coming. I think he should have played a5, and then I would play a4 to not allow a4 from himself. And now, if knight f5, I will go g4 as in the game. So I don't really like knight f5 from him. I think he really needs to prepare it better. Maybe play something like h5 first, or just develop with knight d7, I guess. I think knight d7 it makes a lot of sense. Maybe next I will play rook c1 and c4. So those will be the ideas, those will be the plans, but definitely will be better than in the game. Because look what happened in the game. Now, positional moves. If you wanna pause the video, okay, you can see the moves on the right, but don't sneak a peek on the right. If you wanna pause the video and see the positional moves on the right, this is the moment, this is your chance. Anyway, I will go ahead and spoil it right now. So bishop to a5 again, as I've planned. But the point is to see the next move. The next move is g4, which I've shown already, but which I've showed already. But it's very important now. So I've driven the queen away. My bishop is active. I'm driving the knight away, and he should really go back to e7. Really go back to e7 because he went back to h6, and we will see what happened. We'll see what happens next. Now, positional move, guys. Pause the video if you want and drop it in the comments down below. Tell me what would you play here. Now, the solution is, of course, pawn to h3. This is how you arrest the knight, by the way. This is a positional move. This is how you arrest the knight. It cannot go forward. It cannot go to f5. It cannot go to f7. He told me during the game that he was enticed. He didn't really care. Like he would play f6 or f5 and play knight f7. Yes, but from my understanding, because I'm 2100, of course, and those of you who are watching this and are higher rated, or 2000 or 1900 or 2100 or 2200, even higher than that. If you're higher than that, I don't know why you're watching, but I guess thank you. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I commend you. But the point is, if you are that strong, you can really understand that f6 or f5 really makes a lot of weaknesses in black scheme. Yes, you get the knight back to f7. You waste time though, and it's bad. So he goes. So I play h3, and he plays c5. Now I think he should have gone b6. First kick the bishop away, and then see what happens. I would probably go either bishop to d2 or bishop c3. But as Magnus says, I don't dislike my position. I actually don't. Bishop to c3, I just keep the position, stable, and a4, a5 is coming. If I go bishop d2, I want to play c4. The normal breakthrough. You know, I want to play c4 and I want to play rook c1. And what are you gonna do, right? Your knight is in prison, your queen is weirdly placed, you have development to finish. So in the meantime, while you move the bishop and castle, I will just break open the center, grab the open c file, and hopefully get some positional assets. But it's really like I told my opponent, I told him his name is Fulger Yonuts. I told Yonuts after the game, hey, the knight is over here in prison. You can almost take it off the board. Like you can almost take it off the board because he's not doing anything. Like I told him as a joke. So he played c5. After the game, he told me that he rushed, and I agree. I just simply take. He takes back, and now you can also pause the video here. So to not show you and not spoil it to you, right? The moves, I just close down the notations over here. Try to find a great move for white, but it's not a tactical move. It's a positional move. Again, I've said how. So he wants to castle, but I want to attack him. So you can see that he has a solid position. It's not a tactical move. It's a positional move. How do you continue? It's a strategical um, point. For those of you who found it, so anyway, if you found it before I show you, put down in the comments down below if you didn't already. Okay? So let's continue. C4. C4, guys. C4, it's a mixed strategy with tactics. He cannot take. Why? Because of queen d8, mate. And if he castles, then I just grab a pawn. Remember, my queen, well, say hello to my little queen, right? I just take twice on d5. So, what he did was bishop to e4, which kind of makes sense, but now he loses completely. So you can pause the video again if you didn't sneak a peek on the right and try to find the winning continuation for white. It's like a 3-move sequence, tactics, or you come and you just destroy the king. You win some material. What? And you can pause the video right now. I'll check how many minutes I've recorded. So it's 10 minutes. I'm just making a calculation to see the next game. So maybe I can show 3 games in this video. We'll see. Maybe more. So yeah, for those of you who found it, congratulations, I commend you, and also for those of you who put in effort. And especially I commend you if you dropped a comment down below and told me, even if it's a bad move, if you had the courage to do it and you had the attitude to put in the effort. Remember, guys, you're watching this, you're already putting the effort and the energy and the attention. So c takes d5 is the right continuation. That's what I've played. And now he kind of has 2 options, either take back with the pawn or with the bishop, or play something else. But you don't want to be down a pawn. So he took. Now, if you will see what happens next. Now is the moment of truth. Take the bishop, grab with the queen, and now rook c1, the killer blow. I leave my bishop unfree, and the point is, I get the rook into the back rank. Check, check on the king. If he moves the king up, I'll grab the rook. So I gave a bishop for a rook. I win the exchange, right? If he had played this. And he cannot move the knight because his rook is hanging. So again, he's playing without 2 pieces and without 3 pieces. Because his knight is in prison. It's like I'm playing Monopoly and I put his knight in prison. But he played queen d8 during the game. And I simply took the queen. And now a killer move, strategical move again, but combined with tactics. Knight g5. The pawn is pinned. The king is weak. He cannot castle anymore. His development is bad. The only active piece is the bishop, and I want to take it. So at this moment, he resigned. 20 minutes, 20 moves, game victory, a brilliant, a good game. So yeah, I'm not bragging too much, just presenting you the games. So okay, let's go on. Let's move on. So let's close down this one. With this victory, I move on to 2 points. So then I'm playing in round 3 against a stronger opponent. Then I'm playing on board number 3 against this guy. He's a kid. He's not very old. I believe he's like 14, 15 years old. I can also tell you right here now. So 2010, about 15 years old. Anyway, his name is Cruceru Chano Tudor Mihai, and he's around almost 2000 ELO. It was a very crazy game. Let me close the first game as well, and let me prepare the. Hold on. So okay, put let me just put in the next game. So this is the third game, the third round, and I'm playing with the black pieces. So I've played him before, I believe like 1 year, or maybe 2 years ago in a rapid game, I remember. And he was younger, so if he's now 15, he was like 13 years old. After the game, he kind of cried because he lost. He had a very good position. I remember the game he played very well, and now he has definitely improved because this game was very, you will see, but well, I mean, it was very hard. I calculated a lot. It was very, a very difficult game. Let's put it this way. So he plays e4, I play c5, I play the Sicilian. I want to win. I always want to win. And he plays this line with bishop b5, bishop d7. I play this line. I've showed this again when if you guys are recurring chess spectators, if you've seen the game again, my game against Gustainov Gadir with the black pieces. I've lost that game, but I've put up a fight, a very good fight. You can see that game in one of my videos. Is the game with Dulut and with the game where I showed the game with Ivan Sokolov as well. So go check that out if you want to see how to play with black in this system. In another line, I believe he played something like knight c3 in that game, Gustainov Gadir. Anyway, so it's the bishop b5, the Moscow variation of the Sicilian. So c3, knight f6, I hit his pawn, rook e1. Now if he goes, he cannot go e5 by the way. Also, I was thinking if d4, if it's, I see that it's shown with purple, so it must be theory. I thought I would either take and then take on e4 or take on e4 immediately, but he gets something like d5. which is interesting. And now I'm not really sure, so let's not analyze too much. I will just go over. So knight b8 is theory, knight e5 is theory. Let's see what the engine suggests to give a, I hope my laptop will hold. Oh, because I'm also recording. I'm putting in the engine. I hope I will not lag too much because I'm also kind of compressing my other video. So yeah, the other video is like 800 megabytes. So best moves are 98 and 95. So 98, which is not showed in purple, is not actually the best move. So let's close it down before my laptop collapses. So yeah, I guess this is kind of embarrassing, guys, because I don't have the best setup, so I should really don't take my chances with this. You can really see what happens when you put on the engine. The compressing part finished. If this will crash through, I will just reopen it again. Yeah, this is what happens when you open up the engine Stockfish, because it consumes a lot of memory. This is a little bit shameful, a little bit embarrassing, but who cares? I'm in the beginning. Like, what do you guys expect? I don't have $1 million setup. I mean, my recording still works. So to make up for that, I will just make the image big, I guess, fit to screen to not share my screen. And when everything is all said and done, it's also very laggy. When everything is all, you can watch my face and wait a little bit until I fix everything. Now, why am I not stopping the recording and not editing this out? First, because it takes a lot to edit, and mostly that I don't really know how to edit, and I don't have an editor, and there's a problem with this software that I'm recording with, that if I stop the recording, if I stop the video, then I will have to record another one. So it's not like I stop it and then I continue it and it's the same video. No, if I stop the recording, it stops. It just completely stops. So let me go back. Hold on. Let me go back to the game. So I will open it back again. Sorry about this, guys. Again, I apologize. So hold on a bit. Also, you can skip through the timestamp. But I took my chances. Now I know what happens when you open up the engine. All right. Okay. Everything is good. So now I'll make the image small again. Now I'll share my screen. So let's see. So how many minutes I've recorded? 18 minutes. So I'll show you this game and the next game, and then we'll wrap up this video. And with the next video, the next sequel, I'll wrap up the uh last two rounds. So I'll show you these rounds, and yeah. So let's revert the board. Bishop b5. We've seen this already. Knight c6, c3, knight f6, rook e1. So he can go d4. It's interesting, and it's plus over equal, so it's another line. I'm not sure if it's best. Maybe it makes sense to take first to kind of open up the c file. Now, let's not do that. You can analyze this on your own. I might do an analysis of the Sicilian of the lines, but not in this one. I'm just gonna present you the video, present you the game. So you play rook e1, defended the pawn, and now the strategy is play e6, play the formation as in the French defense, d4. Now you absolutely need to take to open up the c file. Now I thought to myself, why not just d5 immediately? Point is e5, 94, and it's not so good anymore because I didn't take d4. I didn't take on d4 immediately, and yeah, I think knight b d2, and yeah, I have to take, I guess. I can take with the queen even over here. It would be enticed to take with the queen, right? Because if I take now, he can take with the knight. And if he keeps up the structure like this, I kind of like it for white, with f4 and everything like that. So let's not get into details. The point is, you want to take, play d5, like the same structures, but with the c pawns exchange, and you want to have counterplay with the c file opened up. a3, this is kind of a slow move, and I don't really agree with this. He should have played knight bd2 or knight c3 immediately. So a3, and I go bishop to e7, finish up the development, castle quickly as soon as possible. Knight bd2, you can see that my knight is stranded up. Now, absolutely not wanna play f5 to support my knight. Whereas if he takes, I take back with the knight. Don't wanna make these weaknesses. This pawn, this square is weak. Don't wanna do that at all. I believe knight b3 and knight c5, or what's coming up next? Just 95 immediately, or before taking up more space, and then knight b3, knight c5. Now the point is, so let's say castles, knight b. Why doesn't knight b? Oh, b5 is very strong. Yeah. Okay, so let's say a6, I guess. Knight b3, and then bishop to f4 and 95. So even if the engine doesn't agree, maybe white has better moves. Like this would be the strategical point, and here you just suffer with black. You suffer completely without the light square bishop. The light square bishop would defend the weakness in a normal French structure with his light square bishop and your light square bishop. You would have some ideas, but here you're just worse, more and suffering. So definitely not f5 if you were thinking about that. Just take, he takes back and now castle, just hurry up, develop, develop, develop. Rook c1 and rook f c8, immediately grabbing hold of the opponent's c file, and the action will be on the queen side. Now he wants to make the action on the king side because he has more space and he just wants to make some weaknesses. But I don't bite. I don't bite the bait. I just play b5. I just push the pawns over here. Now remember that I said that a3 was a slow move. It's like a hook. I want to play b4 next. He plays h5. Now perhaps I should have played h6 first, but I was a little bit scared if he plays g4 and then g5. He would have told me. He told me that he would have played like this, king h1 and then rook g1. So I don't know if I play, for example, b4. I guess let's say he keeps the position closed, guys, right? So let's say a5 or knight a5. I think I would have played knight a5 and then king h1 or something, maybe b3 first, right? Let's just say something weird, a6. So his point is rook g1 and then g5, and it's scary. Honestly, it's very scary. The knight is coming in, the queen is coming in. Sorry, I cannot draw arrows. I'm bad at that. So yeah, it's hard to be a YouTuber, by the way, guys. It's hard to be a YouTuber. It's hard to be a content producer and be good at chess, be a good communicator, speaker, and record well, edit well, and also throw arrows. It's not easy, at least not at first. So anyway, back to the game, guys. Back to the game. Sorry for the prolonged analysis. B4, I don't want to bite the bait. Maybe so h6 might be a better move. Maybe there are some resources to combat g4, but I didn't know them and I'm not gonna get so much into them. So anyway, b4, let me see how much I recorded. 23 minutes. I want to show you the next game as well. The next game is, or do I stop after two? No, I have to show you the next game. I have to show you three games and then the last two rounds. That's the plan. So anyway, I played before. I wanna make progress on this side because those were those. This is how my pawns are aligned for and my pieces and my bishop. So takes. I have to take with the knight. I cannot take with the bishop unfortunately because of rook c6. And yeah, he takes my. If I take the rook, he will win two pieces for the rook. If I take the bishop, you might think, oh, takes back and then I win the exchange. No, it doesn't work that way, guys. It doesn't work that way because he takes with the check. With a check, I cannot take the rook. Even if I could, the rook is hanging. And then at the end, or after all the dust settles, he's up a knight. So this is no bueno, no good. Nu e bine, cum zicem în română, nu e bine deloc. No bueno, todo. It's not good at all. Nu e bine deloc. So, knight takes b4. I'm obligated to do this. I've seen this anyway. But why did I play this anyway? Because I want to play knight d3. I want to play a5 maybe. I want to open up my queen. I just want to speed up the process. I don't want to get mated, you know, but I want to make some counterplay on the king side. You will see that he was in the game kind of close to checkmating me. Anyway, or at least getting a lot of counterplay on the king side. So a5 definitely need to protect the knight, support it, make it a stronghold, and get more space. And now he wants to stop me from making progress, and like I would play either queen b5 or a4 next. Right, so he takes, I take back with the bishop. I was thinking to take back with the pawn again, Not sure if it was better. Let's now this is a good moment to open up the engine, and now there's no longer a compressing video. So yeah, what does it say after a before? Oh, it's equal, so it's not good. So with bishop takes before, I have a small edge, a small advantage, because I get the initiative. So let's stop. That's all I needed. Oh, actually, I will show you the engine evaluation more, because it will be very spicy next. So queen b5 I played next. Now, really, I should play h6. I've analyzed the game already before I put it. I really should play h6 here to stop h6 by himself. But I play queen b5, and now after h6, I did play well, but it gets very, very, very complicated. I'm not sure if gh6 was the best also. I think it was the best. Oh, queen e2 immediately is better. Queen e2 or a4. A4 or queen e2. So gh6, what does it say? It's not actually even in the top lines. He gets some chances. The evaluation drops a little bit, but he has to play queen e3. But so queen e2, what's the point? Hg7, rook a b8. So not even caring, remotely caring. Queen e2, what it does, it stops queen e3. If he goes queen e3, I might consider taking. I will recapture this pawn anyway, and has weaknesses over here. And in an endgame, black is better, at least a little bit better. So that's the point. And yeah, so hg7 instead of rook a b8. There's also h6. Maybe h6 is even better. Anyway, let's not analyze this too much. So gh6, he has to go queen e3. Well, I thought, oh, what did I think? Did I think king g7? Oh, 91? What's 91 supposed to do? I thought I always have something like bishop to e7, and it says it's the top engine line, queen g3, king h8 or king f8. King h8 says it's a little bit better. And now what's the point? Queen f4. Wow. And the knight stays better on e1 than on h2 rather than in the game, and has a lot of attack, a lot of pressure. And I can repeat, like I can repeat or try to force the game with queen e2, give up a pawn and play very sharp, which I probably would have done if I went for this continuation. You know, you can repeat and defend both pawns, but then what this leads is queen g3. He has a repetition. For example, I can go back and then queen f4, and he has a draw unless I play queen e2 and force the to play for more. So anyway, he played knight h2 and queen e2. The only move for an advantage, queen g3, and now king f8, I guess. King f8 and king h8 are close to being the same. I play king h8, I thought it was better, but now I really have to play queen h5 or I have to take the rook to be better. So the point is, I just defend everything, but I didn't consider this too much. Because knight g4, and then just bishop to e7. If he wants to take my pawn, then fine, but so he cannot really do that, right? Because bishop, oh, king g7. King g7 now, and I get bishop g5, and it's strong. So even if he gets equal material, but here I have bishop g5 and I win the rook, and if he takes here first, what happens? Oh, the rook is hanging. Yeah, I saw this during the game. The other rook is hanging, and then I take back over here. But what about queen f7? Oh, I just take on h6. So look at this cute line, guys. Oh, queen h5 is even better. Queen h5 and oh, and then taking the rook, and I'll just be up a rook. Yeah, queen h5 wins. I thought rook c8 also works, maybe, but why give him this? King h8 wins. What? What? Queen e6 is a draw? Without the bishop and without the rook? Oh, he takes things with check. Oh, and king h5 is... Wow, insane. And king h8 keeps an edge because I'm up a rook and he cannot take both at the same time. And I also have queen h5 coming back. But anyway, don't complicate, guys. If you're finding yourself in this position, like in position similar, just give a check and then grab the rook and everything is guarded. Anyway, let's stop the engine because it's taking a lot of memory. But I play rook c2, which is not so good. It's not so good. The second best move was rook takes c1. Let me see how much I've recorded. I want to show you the next game. Damn, I don't know if I have enough time because it's already 30 minutes recorded. And these games are very complicated. So rook c1. So what's the point? If rook c1, let's try to analyze it humanly. So if he goes, for example, rook c1 to keep all the edges, do I go bishop to e7? Bishop d2? Oh, queen h5 again? Or queen d2? And if, wow, queen d2, really? It works? Queen f6, king g8? There's no knight g4 because the rook hangs. Has to go back. Oh, he has knight f1. Okay. Rook f8 or what? Rook f8. There's no knight g4. Oh, knight g4. There's queen d1. I think I've seen things like this, guys. Guys, I've seen things like this. And black is slightly better. Wow, but this is insane, guys. This is insane, and black is slightly better. But he can take here and knight g5, and it's weird. It's hard to play something like this. I guess queen b1 and queen g6. This is crazy, guys, by the way. To see everything, to see all of this stuff. I mean, okay, sure, sure. I mean, to improve, to learn from my mistakes. If you want to become a master, if you want to become a grandmaster, this is the path to take, guys. Like, play this, like, put the queens. The point is, if he cannot really, he cannot afford to trade. Remember that I won a pawn, and then I put the rook over here and win this one again. You know, and I'm much better. Like, remember, guys, the end game is much better for black. He cannot trade, and he has to go into this. He has no other option. Wow, but this is crazy to see the whole line, to see everything. Even queen b2, queen b2, queen b. Okay, okay, it's understandable with queen b1 and queen g6. But my first instinct was queen d1, king h2, and now white is slightly better. So you can see that the room for error, now because I did not take this pawn, but queen d3 and queen g6. But it's a much different story. Now he can afford to take, for example. I can also play queen h4 and keep the queens, or queen c1. And now suddenly white is slightly better because he has better activity. My king is weaker, I guess. The knight can come in. It's like your typical French defense structure, how you play against it. So anyway, let's see the game. So this is the point of the game where I played rook c2. So rook c1 or queen h5 would have capitalized an advantage, or a small edge would have been better. Rook c2, and this is the point where he has the unbelievable knight. Or the knight f1 is good. I also says here black is slightly better, but I don't believe that because it's like set to. I think the position is equal, or it's very complicated like this. Knight g4. So I thought during the game about bishop d2, and then I finally saw rook takes d2. Insane move, insane. And I thought I win a rook, like I get the exchange, but yeah, he sacrifices things, and I'm lost, guys. I don't have queen e4 or anything. There's just queen f6 and knight h6, and I'm lost, right? Right? Now, to ask you guys to pause the video and to see everything, I've been demanding a lot from you guys. Here, if he had played bishop knight g4, I think bishop to e7 to save the game, you know? And suddenly I'm walking a tightrope. That's what I would have played perhaps. Bishop to e7. It's very difficult. There's, queen f7. What's supposed to be played here? Maybe 96 or something. 93? But maybe he gets the initiative now, right? I have to trade. Doesn't queen h5 work anymore? I guess he has rook c7 and rook e8. At least he can go after this pawn, and I have a lot of weaknesses. It's bad. It's very, very bad. Remember, I was holding the initiative, guys. Anyway, he played rook f1, so he's reacting to my threats. And now again, I don't play the best moves. I played bishop to f8. What I should have done here, I guess I should have taken. And again, black is slightly better. If he takes with the rook, there's queen d2. Again, going into the same variation, guys. Remember. And if he takes with the queen, there's no discussion here. Queen d2 is much better. The rook is passive. And if you avoid the queen exchange, for example, queen c7, I guess, I can play something like king g7. And black is clearly better. I have pressure here. The rook will be safe on f8. If he tries knight g4, the knight is not coming anywhere. The d4 pawn is hanging as well. So it's bad for him. His best bet will be to take and then play this endgame where I'm better. Just rook b8. This is a weakness. The bishop is stronger. I'm up a pawn, even if a double pawn, but a pawn is a pawn. Anyway, so I should have played rook c1. I played bishop to f8. I thought to keep the position uh, stable and solid. I was preparing for knight g4, and now he should have done this. Should have taken, and either knight g4 or rook c1. This is what I. Oh no, no, queen f7. Yeah, yeah, queen f7 as in the game, and then he has pressure over here, and the position is at least equal. At least equal. Would probably either play queen g6 or take here, and then take d4. I guess this is what he thought. It's a very complicated position. Again, black is up a pawn, and it's difficult at least. But well, it says white is slightly better. Rook c1, I guess, or knight g4. You know, White has his chances. The king is weaker. He has all of the compensation for my extra pawn. His pawn is more advanced than my a pawn. Like I would love to run it down the board, but he has a lot of threats. Like for example, knight f6 and then knight h5, for instance, or moving the queen away and then pushing the pawn. Like rook c1 is another idea. Activate the pieces. Pieces. Remember, guys, activity before everything. Anyway, he took on f7, which is a mistake, because now white is not slightly better. I take on c1, he takes back, and now I take on b2, and he thought he can play rook c7, and he's just completely winning before he saw I have queen b1 and then queen g6 to defend against checkmate and to kick his queen away, and then my pawn runs. For example, queen f3, just a4, and black is much better. Black is much better. Suddenly, I've defended everything. The knight is passive. He's no longer coming into the game, and he cannot really stop the a pawn. The a pawn is fast, and it's fast closing in very, very, very fast. So here, yeah, he didn't go for this. There was one resource to try to save the game, rook d1, because now again, black has suddenly has the initiative again. I take, and I hit his rook, and I wanna just much my pawn up the board. I would even sacrifice these guys. My bishop comes to the g7 and stops any perpetual checks and any attacks on the king. And I just want to bring a new queen into the game. And he played rook e1, which is a mistake. I should put a question mark over here. And you can pause the video, guys. Pause the video and find the winning sequence for black, or at least black will be better after this sequence. Black will be better. I'll give you some moments. Pause the video right now and write a comment down below, please, guys. Okay? All right, let me see how much I recorded. 38 minutes. Okay, I don't have time to show you another game. Um, okay, time is relative, but I don't want to make the videos too long. I'll strive the future videos to make as short as possible, like Agatmator does, like Gotham Chess does sometimes. So definitely more value, more clarity, more quality of the videos. Anyway, so if you found the move, congratulations. I commend you, but I mostly commend those of you guys who put a comment down below, even if it's the wrong move. So the point is, I want to hit his rook, and I want to get my queen back. Remember, this is hanging. So the move is queen before. This is what I've played in the game. He played rook e3. He should have gone for rook a1, by the way. Try to stop the pawn, or try to make a repetition. I would have probably played queen e7, get the queen out, kick it away. If he trades, I'm happy. My pawn on e6 is safe, and then I want to run the pawn down the board, and black is a little bit better, I guess. He can try to survive this endgame. It was probably a better bet. But he should have played instead of rook e1, which was a mistake, rook d1, because then I don't no longer have queen b4 with the tempo. Now, if queen b3, for example, rook c1, and again, he's always threatening rook c7. But hold on. Maybe there's something because he has also knight g4 coming in. I'm thinking queen b2 would say the engine to repeat, right? If rook c7, then I have queen b1, guys. Queen b1 and queen g6, remember queen b1 and then queen g6. So he will just repeat, but queen b3, or just keep the queen over here, or let's play queen b6, no? And then a4. I guess knight g4, and it has enough compensation for the for I have what, two? No, I have an extra pawn. This is my extra pawn, and has enough compensation, it seems. If I run it down the board, even white is slightly better. Look at this, guys. White is much better here. And I saw it at analysis, knight h5, and white is clearly better. White is winning here, guys. White is winning here. Has a winning attack. There's nothing to do anymore, I see. The rook might come in later. Bad. If rook g8, what's happening? As he takes first, and then what? Queen f8, rook g8, queen f6, and then rook c1. Yeah, and it's all over, guys. It's all over. He's threatening this. If I play, if I play queen b8 to stop this, if I play queen a6, for example, or queen b7, let's say if I play queen a6, there's rook c7, and it's all over. If I play queen b7, he can at the very least grab on e6, or try to infiltrate with the rook better. Rook c5. If I push a3, what's happening? Queen e6 or what? Oh, rook a5. Look at this. So yeah, it was a very dangerous position. Sorry about that. Has a very strong attack, so I guess my best bet is to repeat the position and make a draw with something like this. If he went for this instead of playing queen b6, because knight g4 is very strong. It seems that my queen is not in time, unless I play something like queen a7 and try to get his to kick his queen. Yeah, it's just very difficult position. That's why it's not so good to allow h6 and gh6. I was scared a little bit, but only if I had found queen h5, a saving resource. But anyway, luckily for me, he played rook e1, and now queen b4, rook e3, queen e7. I get his king queen out. He doesn't want to exchange, and now my pawn runs. And now pause the video again, guys, and comment down below a tactical move. You know, what white wants. You can see rook f7. It is what he wants, but you have a resource with black to, to not care, just nor remotely care. Doesn't matter about rook f7, and black has a resource to win the game immediately. Comment down below. Okay, I'll show you the solution. I commend you guys for putting in the effort, struggle to analyze, to see the move. The point is a3, pawn to a3. This is what I've played, rook f7, and now a2. Suddenly I'm making a new queen. There's no danger of checkmate. My bishop is very safely defending the position. He took, and now first things first, I bring a queen with a check, forcing his knight into passivity, and then I take the rook, and after the countdown, I'm up a rook. And he played queen f7, and you can again pause the video, guys, to see how to defend the position, right? He's hitting my pawn, he's hitting my bishop. Comment some variations, some ideas, some thoughts. It's move number 35. Okay, so I'll show you what I've played. I've played rook a7. I thought it was good because I'm defending my bishop. If he gives a check, then I would just move the king up, but he took the pawn, and now I was glad to take this guy over here, and suddenly my position is kind of solid. If he gives a check, then I again move the king and my position is safe. The queen suddenly defends this square, so there are no checks on g4, and it's very good. He played knight e3, but I frowned. I frowned when I saw this, right, guys? Because why? Why did I frown? Find me a sequence of moves for black to win the game. Okay? So sorry about that. Let me see. So I frowned very badly. You can see it over here, down here, the camera. Right? I frowned very badly when I saw 93. Pause the video and find the winning sequel for black, guys. Okay? Okay. For those of you who put in the effort to check it out, congratulations. And for those of you who put in the effort. I also dropped a comment show to see the variation for black. I commend you guys, you know, for the courage to present a comment, present your opinion, your words. So, rook a1, this is what I played. King h2, the only move. If he goes knight f1, the bomb. If you guys saw this, rook f1, sacrificing the rook, and queen d1 is a checkmate. So definitely he didn't block with the knight. He moved the king, king h2, and now I thought I at least have queen h5, queen h4, sorry, queen h4, and the only move is queen h3, and I can trade and win the game. For example, like this, and I can push d4, and it's all over, right? Because I'm up a rook. But I played queen f4. If you find on this, then you're good. You guys are very good and very strong. If king h3, there's a checkmate on h4, so he cannot do this. He cannot go back. The rook cuts him. So pawn to g3, queen f2. This is what I've played. I've calculated everything. Knight g2, the only move. If he goes king h3, I guess there's rook h1, and then pawn to h5 is a checkmate. So he blocked with knight g2, and now queen g1. The queen suddenly infiltrates. Queen h1, bringing the king into the open. And after pawn to h5, he resigned. The point is, this is a barricade, this is a blockade. If he goes over here, I might give a check with the queen, I guess. Queen h3, grabs his queen, or gives prepares to give checkmate. Or if he goes back, I at least have some checks over here and some checkmates ideas, you know. Let's show it until the end. For example, rook a3, and then for example queen d3. If he goes down, and if he goes up, let's say like a ladder checkmate, check, check, and a checkmate. Yeah, so this would have been the final conclusion. The game ended over here, and this brings me to another victory, my third victory. So I'm 3 out of 3, and yeah, this will conclude the video soon enough. I've recorded 47, will be like 48 minutes. I'm just gonna show you for the next game. So this kid was very strong, 1982, almost 2000. He played very, very well in the game. You already seen what a difficult game it was. And then prepare for the next video, guys. I'll show you my next games, round 4, right? I played on board number 3 against 1971 ELO rated player. So now I'll conclude the video, not making it any more longer than this. So this is the ending of the video. This is the conclusion. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks to you that you support me, you watch it, and yeah, if you really found it valuable, drop a comment, drop a like, you know, all of that kind of stuff. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. What are you waiting for anymore? Come on, let's push the numbers up. If you know a friend who plays chess, share it to him and make him a subscriber. Come on, guys, I'm bringing a lot of value, a lot of quality. You know, definitely. You know, I'm an expert at the very least, and tremendous insight, tremendous analysis. But it's for you guys to decide, for you guys to um, judge, judge the video, judge me. If you really found tremendous value, you can do all of those things like, comment, share, subscribe. If you're new, at least one of those things. If there's one thing to do, you know, it will be really nice. Out of 100 views, to see, you know, 100 of those things, like, you know, either 100 likes or 100 new subscribers, or, you know, 100 comments, or, you know, anything like shares. Like I could see like 10 likes, you know, 10 comments. Why? I'm trying to grow the channel, guys. I'm making this for you guys and for me to get better as a chess content creator, as a chess coach, as a speaker. I'm getting more skills, you know. I love it. I really like it. I like engaging with you guys. That's why I'm waiting for your comments, your opinions, your questions. Drop me anything, any thoughts, any insight. You want this to be shorter? It's too much time. You know, send me any insight, any thoughts. Should I make some videos with Magnus Carlsen, with the popular guys, with Haru Nakamura, to boost the numbers? like not suffered that much for only 100 views at most. Tell me what you guys think, okay? I love chatting with you guys. And I'll see you in the next video, in the next sequel, showing my other games from the tournament. So, three more games to show, and tune in, guys. Be curious, and let's see what happens, okay? All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.